write that content, write what your audience needs to hear, what they want to hear, what they're searching for, make it shareable, and then just make sure it's an easy process for them to get on your website and navigate around your website.
Welcome to Seven Figure Copy, the show where I teach you how to create powerful strategic messaging so you can attract high-paying clients and scale your business to the next level with ease. I'm Gina Whitehouse, your expert conversion copywriter, and this podcast is for ambitious, value-driven female entrepreneurs like you who are ready to scale from 6 to 7 figures without sacrificing what matters most: your values, your time, and your family. In each episode, we'll dive into the art of crafting persuasive words for high-converting websites and sales pages, and you'll learn strategic copy techniques so you attract premium clients and boost your revenue. This podcast was created to help you tackle the challenges of balancing family life and business growth as you take your business to the next level. If you're ready to add a trusted partner to your team, making sure your message is compelling, consistent, and impactful, then you're in the right place. Hey, everybody, this is Gina Whitehouse, and I am your host of the Seven Figure Copy podcast. And I want to remind you, if you don't remember, that this season is all about helping you position yourself as that go-to expert in your field so you can attract those premium clients you want to work with and make more sales. But here's the thing. Being an expert doesn't matter if people can't find you. And that's why visibility is so important. Being visible online. We want people to find your website and work with you, right? So when you show up in search results, you're not just making it easier for people to discover you, you're also building credibility and positioning yourself as a leader in your field. So today I'm joined by Glenneth Reed, who is an SEO expert and strategist. And we're going to learn about some simple ways you can combine smart SEO strategies with your copy to boost your visibility, stand out as the expert you are, and connect with your dream clients. So let's dive in. Hi, Glenneth. I am so excited that you are here with us today to speak to us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, who you serve, and what you offer?
Hi, Gina. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Glenneth Reed, and I am the owner and founder of the Visibility Method. I help small business owners, both online and local, get visible on Google so that they can get more leads, more customers, more revenue. Anything that helps them get visible online is what I want to help them with, because we know that people don't just go online anymore, they live online.
That's awesome. So I wanted to bring you on today because, as you know, and those listening, you should know this, that the season's theme is how to position yourself as an expert so you can really gain those premium clients that you want to work with and boost your sales in your business. And I actually connected with Glenneth, a couple months ago, probably almost a year ago on Instagram. And I had set up a one-on-one call with her because I got to the point with my website where I was like, okay, I just need to optimize for SEO now, which is search engine optimization. Yes, I actually said that without butchering the words. And I wanted to meet with Glenneth because I just wanted to see how can I optimize my homepage, my whole website really, beyond what I've already done with it so that people can find me online. Because when people are looking for conversion copy, I want to be at least, I might not be the first one that comes up, but I love to be on that first page. So that's how we got connected, and Glenneth helped me a lot with that. So Glenneth, if you could talk to us today and just give our listeners just a couple tips on how they can be found more easily, organically online, thus really setting themselves up as the expert in their business.
So the first tip I would have is you need to be creating high quality content that informs and educates. And I know that this scares a lot of people, but it's as easy as answering the questions that you are always asked about your business. That is truly my number one tip. As people ask you questions, as you hear it out in whatever groups you're in, write it down. Those make amazing blog posts, because that's what people are searching for. They have that question about the service you're providing. So write a post answering those questions, and then make sure that you are optimizing it for SEO. And I'm going to go through some words here real quickly. Your title tag, your meta description, all the things that you would do, but write it naturally in your ideal client's voice and in the terms that they are looking for. You may call things something else, but make sure you're using their language. And I always say the best place to start research and the best place to see, is this actually something people are searching for, is just go to google.com. You don't need any fancy keyword softwares or pay monthly for expensive tools. Just go to google.com, type it in. Does it come up? What is Google suggesting? As you start typing, they do the predictive text. That may give you some more ideas. If you scroll once you search, there's some other suggested related topics. Maybe one of those is a little more in line with what you're thinking. But get that high quality content on your website so that people can find it when they're searching for it.
That's great. And can you go a little bit more into detail exactly what is like the meta tag and the description, and kind of explain it to us at like a 5th grade level?
Yes.
So we can all understand.
So the title tag, when you're in a browser and you have all those tabs open, and most likely you're not actually reading them, because if you're like me, you have so many, there are these little itty bitty dots at the top of your browser. The words that are in there is actually called the title tag. That is really not for your audience. That's really more for Google. I'm going to date myself here, but I think of it in terms of the old card catalog, and that it's like Google has a big index file and they're searching through all these little index cards to find which one matches what the person typed in. So things that you don't need in your title tag are home. Everybody has home. If you see home, they've not had it optimized. You don't need your business name, and you don't need your name, because if people already know you or your business, they're going to find you. So think of the title tag as for people who don't know you yet, but are searching for the products, the services, the offers that you sell. That's how you should think about the title tag. And then the meta description is the sentence that appears under the title tag within the Google search. And while it's not a ranking factor, its entire job is to entice people to click on your link and to go into your website and read the page. So you get 150 to 160 characters, and you want to tell people, make it exciting enough that they're going to be able to see that and go, yes, this is exactly the thing I need to read, and click in. So title tag and meta description, 2 of the most important SEO elements that a lot of times people forget. And if you've already written the high quality content, then sometimes just adding these 2 pieces to a page can be the thing that starts the rankings increasing and starts you getting more traffic.
Okay, that's great. And once you get these things in place, how long can we wait? Let's say, how would I phrase this? How long does it take for Google to start ranking you?
So SEO is really a long-term game. It is the never-ending marathon. Depending on where you're currently ranking, it truly can take 6 to 12 months. And I know a lot of people, I don't have that long to wait. If you never get started, you will never get there. So just starting, just putting some content on your website, optimizing it, even if it's 1 post a month, is going to get you more traction than not doing anything. The second thing about, making sure this content is positioning you as an expert in your field is making sure that it's shareable content. That's something that I think a lot of people have backed off on lately, but people do still share content, and you never know when they're going to share your content. And any place that it's shared, any of the socials, other people's email lists, even your own email list, when people come back to your website and they're reading that post and they're maybe going to other pages to check out what it is you do, maybe how to contact you, that in itself is going to help your SEO, because now Google sees, hey, that page is relevant. People have spent time on site. people have visited multiple pages. So you're helping yourself by creating content that other people want to share. I actually love sharing content. And my number one pet peeve is going to a blog post, reading it, thinking, oh, wow, I really want to share this. And there not being a sharing button. And all the platforms these days have the option to include social sharing buttons. It doesn't hurt to include them. So just include them. Even if it's just one or two people a month share it, you're still getting the share, other new eyeballs on it. And it's just positioning you even as the expert for it. I've had a lot of people tell me, well, I don't post on Facebook, but I'm getting a lot of referral traffic from Facebook. There are so many Facebook groups where people are constantly sharing other people's links where they just might know you and somebody says, hey, does anybody have a reference for this? And somebody goes, oh, you should read this blog post. You probably aren't in the group, probably don't know the group exists, but all of a sudden people are visiting that link to see what you wrote about. So, just know that it happens. It's fantastic. But if you don't have that content created, they can't share anything.
That's really good. And now that you say that, I'm not even sure if I have a sharing button on my blog post. So I am going to go back and check that. And since you brought blog posts up, I had a question about that. Now, I know to a lot of people, it seems like just another thing to add to their list. But obviously, I mean, if you know a little bit about repurposing content, like you could just do a video, right? And then repurpose that as a blog post. A blog post is one type of long form copy, like podcasting, blog posts, any kind of YouTube videos. It's long. What did I just call it?
Long form content.
Long form copy, right?
Yeah.
It's long form copy. So that's where you can start, right? You can start in any of those ways. And then like this blog post, this podcast could be turned into a blog post, or a blog post can be turned into a podcast. Any way you can do it. So it's not something that has to feel like, oh, this is another thing I have to do. But I wanted to ask you, is there any difference in, let's say, someone could start writing a weekly blog post, or they could write, let's say, 5 blog posts at a time and put those on their website all at the same time. Is there any advantage to doing it one way or another for being found and just for SEO?
There's not really. You want to make sure there's still all high quality content. And I wouldn't take like one super long form blog post and turn it into 5 mini ones, because longer content performs better.
That's good to know.
Gone are the days when 200 to 500 words suffice. You need longer. Think around 1,000 words. Okay. There's some blog posts that even get 2,000, 3,000, which to me personally is a little long, but depending on your content and depending on what you're writing about, could very well be there. You just want to make sure it's very easy to read. And like you were talking about video, because there are some people who are fantastic on video and think, but I'm not a good writer. Make your video, embed it into a blog post, use one of the numerous AI tools now to have a summary, a transcript, whatever, written and format it into a blog post. Now you've got one page that has video and text on it. Some people will just watch, some people will just read, and some people will do both. And the best thing about having video on your content is that typically means people are on the page longer, which helps with SEO because length of time.
Hey, would you like personalized feedback on a focused portion of your website, an opt-in page, landing page, sales page, or an email sequence? And would you like to be featured on this podcast? Here's your chance to be the next live copy audit. Go to the show notes, click on the link to apply, and pick a time to record your live audit with me. You'll just need to fill out a short questionnaire, and then I'll personally review your submission and contact you if you're selected. So don't wait. This could be your opportunity to optimize your copy and share your business with our audience. Yeah, that's so good. So the reason why I ask is because what I actually do with my blog posts, as far as how often I post, like I don't do a weekly blog post, like weekly, just thinking about it, another thing, right? But what I do is when I get a chunk of time, I will sit there and write like 5 blog posts just based off the questions that I get from a lot of people, or just on a certain subject that I know that, you know, I've taught on a couple times, whatever it is. And I might start from something that I posted on social media and expand on it. Or it could be a video, or probably what I'm going to do is take these podcasts and start making them into blog posts, but I'll do it all at the same time. And I figured it didn't really matter if I did it weekly or all at the same time for SEO. But my reasoning for doing it, and I think this is going to help those who are listening, is that it just builds your credibility, right? I just think, you know, even if you do like 5 blog posts one quarter and then the next quarter you do another 5, whatever, then you have a library of information that people can go to when they come to your website to see basically that you know your stuff, right? So that's what I do, you know.
I think it also helps if you get a lot of questions either on social media or email, people contact you and they have questions, they kind of want to learn more. Send them to these pages on your blog post, you know, on your website. Send them, hey, you might want to check out these pages.
Yeah, it kind of acts like an FAQ center.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it too.
And FAQ questions, those type of questions are the best to turn into blog posts. You know, make them long, educational, informational. Think, you know, everything a potential customer might ask around this subject or might need to know, put it in there. You know, use your voice, your style, let them, you know, and as you're doing it, you know, you can reference, well, when I work with clients, blah, blah, blah. So they would get a feel for, okay, this is why she's saying this. And you're just positioning yourself as, hey, I'm giving you the information because I know the information, and here's how I work with people.
Right. Those are good tips. All right, go on to your next tip for us.
Along with like blog posts answering questions, also remember that case studies and success stories can also be considered blog posts. You're then showing that you're an expert in the field. If you have that on your website, you're able to show people, again, able to share it, people coming back. So don't, you know, if you're like, well, I just want to show what I do, and I think one just element of society that does this so well, anybody in the wedding industry, anybody who has anything to do with a wedding, pretty much they will post wedding stories and make it about either the venue or the flowers or the hair or the makeup or the catering. And then they'll show the wedding would be like a success story, but then their blog post might be 5 things to think about when you're planning a wedding, 5 things that would rule a venue out for me, type of thing. So you have a little mix of both. Google loves, when you're thinking about doing blog posts and answering people's questions, Google loves lists, anything with a number. 8 reasons, 5 tips. Google just loves that because people look for that. This versus that. If there's anything you can compare and contrast, people are always searching for that. Personally, for me, like every time I go to find a new project management system, I'm like, this versus that, this versus that. And I just keep going. And then just reviews of something. If there's something in your business that people use, a specific tool or something that your ideal customer would be using that maybe you help them with, do a review on it.
That's a good idea.
Why you like it, why you use it with your clientele. Don't be afraid to showcase, hey, I use this tool and this is why. Well, now you may get people who are looking for that product software coming to you going, oh, wow, I didn't realize there were people who could help me with this or who use this and do this.
Yeah, that's good. So when you're talking about the this versus that, what was the other example you gave right before that?
List.
Was the 5 ways how to blank. Are you talking, obviously you are talking about the actual words in the blog post, but are you also talking about the headline or like the subject line, the title?
Yes, the title, yes. Making sure your key phrase is in there. If it's, trying to think, 5 tips for writing effective Google ads. So my key phrase may be effective Google ads, but my title, 5 tips for writing effective Google ads. And you can kind of see it's got multiple key phrases in it: Google ads, effective Google ads, and tips for writing effective Google ads. So you're hitting more than one key phrase with one title.
And I think this also goes back to my copywriting principles, and I believe I talk about this in episode 2, is just to be clear over catchy, or clear over clever, right? With these titles, we want to be clear and have those keywords in there instead of being really cutesy, right?
100%. And a great example, and this is probably 5 to 7 years old, tons of health and fitness bloggers used to blog every Wednesday, what I ate Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'd be shocked at how people weren't finding them. And I'm like, first of all, nobody's searching for what I ate Wednesday. Secondly, especially some of them would have great recipes and tips, and it might be, protein snacks. I'm like, there's your content, just rethink the way you're sharing it and put what your ideal client is actually searching for. If you want to make it a series on social, and share bits and pieces of your post, great, call it What I Ate Wednesday. But your blog title, if you're doing YouTube, it needs to be clear. It needs to be searchable.
Okay, that's good. Very good. All right, do you have any more tips for us?
So we've talked a lot about content, and that really is what's going to position you as an expert in your field, showing your content, letting people read it, sharing it. But if your website isn't mobile friendly and fast loading, they may not ever see it. More than 60% of all Google searches now come from mobile. So people are coming from a mobile device, most likely. Google prioritizes mobile. And a lot of people are like, well, what does that mean? Well, when Google looks at your website to decide where you should rank, they're basing their factors on how your site does mobile loading. Is it mobile friendly? Can people use it easily? So if you go to a mobile site and you pull your site up and it takes 5 seconds to load, people don't have that kind of attention span anymore.
Yeah.
They will bounce off of it. And the best way to test it, honestly, is probably not doing it yourself, because you're often on your own mobile site. Have a friend who doesn't ever go to your site. Have them pull it up on mobile. Check it. Google gives some tools that check and tell you, hey, here's how we see your site. And then they also say, and here's ways to improve it. So Google will always give you tools to use in order to do the things that they want you to do, but you've got to make sure it loads fast and that it's easy to use. For mobile sites, people really expect that little hamburger menu, the little 3 lines kind of at the top right of a screen on mobile. 100% do that. Now, here's the caveat. People do not expect that on a desktop. They expect to see a navigation bar with like about, services, products, all the things. Like that is, you need to be creating a website, making sure your website has what people expect. If you're a business who gets phone calls and wants phone calls, your phone number should be in multiple places on your site, including the top right-hand corner, because that's the number one place people look for a phone number. Now, again, if you don't want phone numbers, you don't have your phone number out, don't put it on there. But if you do, don't make them hunt it.
Okay.
People are used to things. We've been on the internet for a while. There got to be standards. And while, yes, we all want to make our website our own, we want it to look pretty, we want it to flow. More importantly, though, I want people to find what they need, and I want them to contact me. I want them to buy from me. Don't make that hard for them.
That's good. Yeah, I would add to that. Like, I'm not someone who people call very often. I'd prefer people to set up appointments with me. So right on the right-hand top corner of my website, I have that, book your 30-minute copy chat here or your 30-minute complimentary chat with me, so that they could see it right there. And then I have it in various places. Could you just tell us really quickly, what are some things on the website that will slow your website down?
Putting videos that autoplay on your website are going to slow it down. The best way to put videos on your website is upload them to YouTube, which is great because now you have a YouTube channel. Yes. And then embed the YouTube link into your website. Doesn't matter what platform, that's the number one way. Don't have it autoplay because Google's going to keep trying to load that. The user should press play. The second thing is images. And I know images are very important to our websites. Visual, people are visual. Websites with images are slow. So you want to make sure that your images are 150 kilobytes or less when you put them on your website. And so unfortunately, what that means is do not upload a photo directly from your phone. Even though high quality iPhone photos, gorgeous, those are great photos, don't upload them directly. Your brand photos that your photographer took with their nice DSLR, do not upload those directly. Oftentimes, images, graphics that you create in Canva, do not upload those. They're all going to be too big. And when I say Google gives us tools for this, they do. There is a tool called squoosh.app. It's a website. It's SQUOOSH.app. And you go in, you upload your photo. Google will automatically resize it. It'll give you multiple options. And boom, now you have a picture that's able to be uploaded and is not going to slow your website down.
Oh, that's good. I did not know about squish.app.
Squish is my favorite tool. I love to use it. And truly, the other thing to think about, because the pushback I will often get, typically again from the wedding industry, is, well, but they're pictures. We can't. A typical DSLR photo is about 5,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels. That is a huge file. On screen, it's usually like 750 pixels wide. So if you just shrink it down proportionately, which the app also allows you to do, now you've already condensed how small it is. Like those images are typically 3, 4, 5 megabytes, and we're looking to get under 150 kilobytes. Wow. So let's make it a little bit smaller because it's not going to be full size anyway on the website.
Right. Okay, that's so good to know. All right, do you have anything else for us today?
I would say those are the big ones. Write that content. Write what your audience needs to hear, what they want to hear, what they're searching for. Make it shareable. Use video if you can, because the longer they stay on your site, the more pages they visit, the better. And then just make sure it's an easy process for them to get on your website and navigate around your website.
All right, great. I have one more question for you that I like to ask all of my guests. So here it goes. Can you give all the female entrepreneurs and small business owners out there one piece of advice that has helped you scale your business while keeping your family and personal life thriving?
Set boundaries.
Yep.
And for me, that has been, I only do calls on Tuesday, Thursday. And I've been doing that for over 8 years. Have I made exceptions? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But it's honestly few and far between. I have a Calendly set up, kind of like you said, a book appointment. I open up Tuesdays, Thursdays. And I do say, if you don't see anything, let me know. 99% of the time, they just pick a time and come on. And that, I would say, number one thing, just gives me space, gives me some peace of mind. I know I don't have calls on those days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday can look different for me.
Good. That's good. Yeah, it's all about setting boundaries. And I do the same thing where I'll have certain types of calls on certain days. And what I've been doing is also just reserving Monday as a day with no calls, right? That's where I get caught up on a lot of admin stuff and just all the things I need to do, right? Because as if you like toggle back and forth all day in your mind, it's like having like 50 tabs open on your browser, and it's just, you're not very productive. At least I'm not. So, well, thank you so much, Glenneth. It's been so good talking to you. And I know a lot of these tips are going to help a lot of people. Can you tell us how listeners can find you if they need your help?
Sure, absolutely. You can go to my website, which is www.thevisibilitymethod.com, or you can come find me on Instagram at glenneth.com, and that's GLENNETHDOTCOM.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Glenneth. It's been so fun chatting and reconnecting, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of 7-Figure Copy. If you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star review on your favorite platform and follow me on Instagram for more insights. Can you think of one female entrepreneur or small business owner right now who could benefit from listening to this podcast? Please share this episode with them. And if you're ready to hand off the copy for your website, emails, and sales pages, head over to www.whitehousesm.com to book a complimentary copy chat with me. Let's partner together to take your business to the next level.